Hello, ladies and gents, and welcome to another episode of Pull the Trigger. My name is Sandra Gonzalez, and for those of you that don't know me, I'm a retired Marine officer turned life coach speaker. I had the honor and distinction of serving 20 years of honorable service as a U.S. Marine, and now I coach high caliber women and men entrepreneurs so they can kick self-doubt to the curb, cultivate sexy confidence, and authentically step into any room and stand out as a leader. And today I'm so excited. You're going to want to give me your undivided attention. Why? Because when you give me your undivided attention, it equates to retention. And today's guest is filled with a wealth of information. We are not only going to enlighten you, educate you, but we're going to empower you and inspire you to step outside your comfort zone, to do just that, pull the trigger and take action. So today I have the gorgeous, my friend, Miss Gia Fay, who's the CEO of Body by Gia. Now, Gia is a bilingual fitness trainer. Okay, habla español, so you're in for a treat. For our Spanish viewers or anybody watching, she's a blogger, she's a speaker, and she's a TV host where I actually personally met her down in Los Angeles, California. She's a TV host of Get It Girl TV, and I'm sure she's got other shows as well. But this, let me tell you, this chingona, oh my goodness, has been featured in Telemundo, NBC, Univision, just to name a few. And having grown up overweight, so this is a resident expert who's experienced all of this, and she's here to give you transformational information that you're going to add to your tool belt, so to speak. But having grown up overweight, she redefined herself, her brand, and she uses social media platform, right, to be a positive influence for curvy girls, for men and women alike. So, amiga, what an honor it is to have you here today. I'm so excited. What else did I miss in that introduction? Because I know you keep going and going. You're so, accomplished. And what an honor it is to have you here today.
Thank you so much for inviting me. I love chatting with women. Powerful women are what feed my inspiration, my motivation. And ultimately, that's how we fill up our toolbox, speaking to so many different women and redefining even the relationship between women. I love being able to communicate with other powerful women. And for so long, media has put us against each other. And us believing that garbage has made us against each other. But now that women are coming together and are like, no, we're badass, we're chingonas, and two chingonas are better than one chingona, So I just love conversations like this. I hope that women that are watching this and men can see the power that comes from these type of dialogue and these type of conversations. I think it's so important because I know I would have wanted this growing up. I would have wanted to see other Latinas, women talking just about their experiences because everybody is made so differently. Yes. Our personal story is what makes our message powerful. And I think, owning our personal story, embarrassing or not, owning it, it's important. And it's what makes us all unique. And that's what helped my personal social media grow, was talking about my weight issues, talking about my curves that made me feel insecure growing up. But now I use them as my sex appeal, and sex appeal is powerful. And using it is powerful. Absolutely. And I think that you say it's sexy confidence. I have that. And I didn't even know I had that until really we talked. And once I really started to assess my social media, I'm like, damn, I am very sexy confident.
Yes.
And owning that. Yes. It's so important. So thank you. And the introduction was just amazing. Wow. It's like, dang, that is me. Own it. I'm a freaking chingona.
Right? You're chingona. And I'm sure you all sit here, wow, tú con esas curvas y yo sin frenos. I'm sure you've heard that.
All the time. Very popular comment in my social media. Yeah.
But I love that you embody that curviness because it's so sexy, mamacita. It really is.
Yes.
That's what makes us Latina, but you
Yes.
take it to an inspirational level. And I know that's why we connected. Now, last week, I believe June 15th, you had a birthday, did you not?
I did. I was in Hawaii celebrating. Amazing. Just another year to say, I made it through another year of life. And this last year, I had huge obstacles in my business. We talked a little bit about a lawsuit that I finally overcame. The courts finally dismissed it. Everybody else saw that it was BS and I was being extorted for money. And it really, really made me grow in this last year.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
hitting my birthday, having it be resolved, I was just in such a great place, such a place of gratitude, even grateful for the stress, the anxiety, because all of it made me grow so much in my mindset. And it's just like exercise. Our muscles are strained and they're strengthened, right? They're more powerful.
Yes.
And so my mindset was really strained with that extortion case. And now it's like, I'm so much more powerful. I'm so much more like grateful. And it really, really developed those muscles that I need in my mind for my business, for my relationships, for my body. And, ultimately that's what we want, right? I talk to so many women and their ultimate goals are to have the body, to have the relationship, and to have the career.
Yeah.
And the thing is for those three things, we need mindset.
Absolutely.
Mindset of gratitude, mindset of I can do hard things, mindset of like trusting the universe and everything we need to know, we will know when we need to know it.
Exactly.
So it's like that faith, I think those are the elements that have helped me through like my journey. I still can't believe I've had my business 10 years and it continues to grow. And it's because I continue to feed my mind. I continue to educate myself online at conferences, building relationships like with you, that ultimately it's just you're educating yourself. And a lot of times we can get stagnant. We just kind of stop educating ourselves. And then we realize, oh, wow, I'm living the same life I was living 10 years ago.
Something's wrong. Yeah.
Yes. Because I can see back to 10 years and I'm like a totally different person. So how much money I'm making, what my body looks like, what my relationships look like, day and night different. But it's because I developed my mind. And that foundation of exercise, this, like what we learn in fitness, you streamline those habits to your business and your relationships.
Yes.
People they don't understand a lot of times like why I exercise. It's hard. It's uncomfortable. I don't really care to be fit anymore. I'm old. I have kids, whatever their excuses are, right? Because they're all excuses.
Yes.
They completely neglect the fact that we don't exercise just for the body. We exercise because those habits of discipline, pushing through something hard, all of that you use in real life.
Exactly. And I love that you brought up the topics of habit because that's one of my questions that I'm going to bring up. So it was a perfect, this is a perfect segue to actually ask you my first question. But before I do that, I do love how you brought this up, how when a woman is stuck, it's about collaboration, not competition,
Yes. Exactly.
So it's reaching out and saying, I need help. It's saying, can you help me? How can I serve you? And this is what we're doing. It's about collaboration over competition. The next thing that you brought up was adversity is our advantage.
Yes.
So anything challenging that comes into our life now, Gia's going to be like, I got this because I've endured so much in the past. I'm going to find a solution to my problem and I'm going to keep moving forward. So it's that level of discomfort you've allowed now to receive and grow from that and experience more that is continuously going to strengthen you. So I love, that you brought up these three things that actually make up my methodology, which is sexy confidence. You got to shape your physique. You got to strengthen your mindset and you got to step up as a leader and scale your business. So those three things I personally believe, and you just kind of touched on those, is so important. Boo, here's my question that I know the viewers are dying to know, right? So as this resident expert when it comes to fitness, how can a woman, right? How can she lose fat, but at the same time build this booty like yours, mamacita? How can she do that?
I mean, honestly, I will say number one, to doing anything physical with your body, to creating any change in your body. My saying that I tell my clients is change more than just your body. In order for you to lose belly fat and build the curves, tone the curves, because we all have curves, but like we want to tone them, reshape them, lift a little bit, anything we want to do with our body physically, it has to start in our mindset, so I go back to when I train my clients in personal training, I'm focusing on their mindset. I'm focusing on anxiety management. I'm focusing on the reprogramming, which is the self-talk.
Yes.
And then at the same time, I'm giving them, obviously, every body is different. So I can't say, do cardio, do weights. Everybody's different. I'd have to look. If the woman has more belly fat and less booty, I'd probably have her do more cardio, but do like heavy lifting on the glutes. If she has too much booty and too much belly, I'd have her do a combination. But ultimately, you have to start with the mindset. And our brain is a supercomputer. Yes. And our self-talk is our programming. So in order for any change to happen within the body, it has to start with that programming and the mindset. And then once I have the woman, with the proper mindset, and obviously the way that I train them is through journaling, dialogue. At the beginning of our training sessions, I'm talking about how they're eating, what's that making them feel like. So it's a certain type of, it's almost like counseling, like nutrition counseling is what I do with them at the beginning of our training sessions. And then we go into a nutrition plan. But, to lose belly fat, it comes down to how much sugar you're having. If you drink a lot, girls, I don't drink alcohol at all. Like, that's just how it is. If you want to have a small waist, give up the alcohol. No wine, but vodka and club soda is better. Your body is drinking toxins. And when your body is intoxicated, your liver's not working properly. So your liver is what breaks everything down. Exactly. So that's and that I think is the hardest news for women when they want to lose belly fat. It's like, I have to give up drinking, but you don't understand, Gia. I have 3 kids. They're crazy, Gia. You don't understand. And it's like, I get it. And I don't have kids. So like, I don't understand in that sense, but I have stress. Everybody has stress. If you live in America or anywhere in the world right now, you're going to have to learn to manage stress. And that's another thing to reduce belly fat. If you're not managing your stress, your cortisol levels are up the roof. And sometimes those hormones, a lot of times about 80% of weight loss comes to your hormones. And if you don't learn to balance those hormones, your body can literally block burning fat.
I experienced that.
I've experienced it too. Oh yeah. I had to work with a nutritionist. I had to get back to like square one, basics. Yeah. Your body can and I've heard, and if you're watching this, you've probably experienced like, I'm working out every day. I'm eating great. I'm doing this, but like I'm stressed out and my belly fat's not going anywhere. That's why.
Exactly.
So in my coaching programs, I'm focusing on stress management, because if you do not control that stress, you will never get rid of the belly fat. And the thing is, a lot of women will then starve themselves, overdo the cardio, and that burns your butt. So not only are you not going to lose belly fat, but you're going to lose your booty. And I mean, I'm all about the booty now. You know what I mean? Like, even in men, you know what I mean? Like my guy, I'm always touching his booty. He's even like, oh my God, leave my booty alone. I'm like, I love booty. Like, it's just a booty. Like, you need to have booty.
I agree.
So it's important. It's important for men to have it too. Okay. Yes. Men need to have it too.
You know what? Busted. And I plead the fifth, because this morning, I was training and I caught like this cutie pass by. I'm like, ooh, what a beautiful push, So automatically it triggered that what happened to me this morning. But men and women need a beautiful tush.
Yes. And it's a beautiful thing to look at, obviously. But on top of that, having larger glutes speeds up your metabolism, because it is the largest muscles that we have. So we want to build that because a faster metabolism has you burning fat all day doing nothing, right? So the more muscle you have in your body, the more your body's burning fat at rest. So like while I'm sitting here, I'm losing more fat and more, more energy. Basically, you're burning more energy because you have those larger muscles. And so there's so many benefits to it, and then obviously having a smaller waistline, reduces chances from high blood pressure, diabetes. I don't like to focus on how much you weigh, but anything above 33-inch waistline, you're basically at higher risk for high blood pressure, like I said, and diabetes. So I would focus more on like shrinking the waist to at least where you're healthy.
Absolutely. I love that. Mm-hmm. So having said that, I know, and I heard you, I've personally met you, and I love the confidence you exude. So how have you, Gia, gained the confidence that you currently have? And what would be your suggestion for a woman who's not as confident? What would be your recommendation?
I developed my confidence throughout the years also, just like muscle. It was something that came to me as I started my YouTube channel 10 years ago, and I did not have confidence. I mean, I had confidence that I was a pretty girl because I got attention, but inside I was always very insecure. I just didn't feel good enough. And so when I started posting videos on YouTube 10 years ago, I quickly started to get invited to Telemundo and like these, I got my first brand position. My first brand job was with Microsoft. And I remember they picked me up, they took me to this mansion in Bel Air, and I was like so scared. I mean, so scared. And the way that I developed my confidence was by forced acts of courage.
Love that.
So I didn't want to go because I was so scared, but I forced myself to go. And what I realized is that started to give me confidence that if I was there, number one, if I'm there, it's because I'm meant to be there, because imposter syndrome tries to come in, right? Imposters like, what are you doing here? Maybe they called the wrong person. Like, no, if I'm there, like I have faith that the universe brings you to a place where you're supposed to be, right? There's no error in the universe, or else we wouldn't have this magnificent solar system and everything wouldn't work so perfectly. So that ultimately helped me develop my confidence, is forcing myself to do those hard things over and over again, not just one time, over and over. So it's like, as my brand got bigger, as I gained more followers, as I started to do more events. I mean, for Telemundo, I had to do an event in front of 10,000 people live with a camera in the back of my neck with KTLA. Scary. I would not have wanted to do it if I wasn't told, in myself, it was like, God is pulling you to do this. You better do it.
Yes.
And I had been watching, at the time, so many like Tony Robbins videos. So like in the question of like how you develop your confidence, you have to get out of your own head.
Yes.
Because our own head is what keeps us insecure. So I started watching Tony Robbins videos because my family didn't really raise me with that confidence. It was like, you have kids, get married, that's it. And it was like, my mom was very submissive. It just, and I was the first generation born here in America. They were born in Mexico. And so I knew I wanted something different. I knew that, like, now I know my ancestors had been praying for this, right? To help evolve like La Raza, And so watching Tony Robbins, going to women conferences, forced acts of courage, that is ultimately how I gained my confidence. And I'm excited because now I just wrote an ebook on bodybygia.com. They can find it. The ebook is all about how I built my confidence and the fitness tools that help me streamline that confidence. Because ultimately, like, my goal now is to help other women like yourself. Like, it's like we all have a unique story. Yes. And every story can inspire somebody else. Like, if I can inspire one woman, two women to gain the confidence to do what they're destined to do. And if their destiny is to just have kids and be married, let them do it in the most chingona way ever.
Absolutely.
But if it's more, there shouldn't be fear that's holding them back. I think fear it could be the enemy or it could be your best friend, you know, and it's how you use it. And I knew that those moments of fear as I was growing in my business, I knew that, you know, Tony Robbins would always say, your dreams are on the other side of fear. And so I knew, okay, if I'm scared, this is a good thing for me to know that there's probably something on the other side. You know, just like when we're going through a hard workout, I would push myself. I'm like, what happens if I push myself a little bit more? What am I going to feel on the other side? Again, confidence came from my fitness because all those years of training, and I had done soccer before that. So I had the discipline of like a soccer player. And so like all of those things in fitness eventually transferred over into my career, my relationships, and then obviously like my body now. So I would say, yeah, it's been a journey, and confidence isn't something that you gain overnight.
No, it's like
it's a muscle, and you have to constantly feed it. And just like when you stop training, like your biceps or your booty, you get atrophy, right? Yeah. We've all stopped training our booty and it falls.
Yes.
It's atrophy, which is, it starts to burn, right? It loses the strength, it loses the volume. Same thing with your confidence. If you're not constantly feeding it. And I mean, I'm feeding it now, you know, during COVID, because conferences were shut down, I started reading book after book after book. Like Think and Grow Rich right now is the one that I'm reading. And it's so powerful just on how many billionaires and millionaires came from just reading the book, because the book like shifts your mindset to thinking in abundance. So it's just constantly feeding your mind is what continues to grow, and having conversations with people like yourself.
Absolutely.
When we first talked, you had asked me, you're like, where do you think your confidence is at? And I said like a 9. And then you're like, why? I'm like, yeah, you're right. Why did I say a 9? I'm a 10. Like, right. Sexy confidence. So sometimes it takes meeting that other woman, and it's opening yourself up. It's not being intimidated. It's knowing that every woman that you meet is a teacher.
Absolutely.
And like you said, cooperating, collaborating. And that's important. And I've seen it through social media, the industry. It's hard to find other women like that sometimes, especially when I was more in my 20s. I think women more in their 20s and even me, I'm totally guilty of it. You're more insecure. You feel kind of like, because you're insecure, you feel more competitive with other women versus in your 30s. Like now, at least now in my 30s, I'm like, oh, I'm a badass. She's a badass. Let's be badasses together. And it's because my confidence grew. But when I was an insecure girl, and I was, you know, in my 20s, when I first started my social media, I would meet other influencers that were also just as like catty, not wanting to collaborate because we hadn't built the confidence yet. Yes. You know, I think that comes with confidence, because when you're confident, you're not intimidated by anybody else.
Exactly.
You're just like, oh, awesome. Let's be awesome together.
Absolutely.
Very different mindset.
So, and
what age group?
I love that you bring this up, Gia. So there's a 20-year-old right now at this moment listening, you know, she wants to start. She's probably already an influencer. What would be your recommendation to her to not feel easily intimidated by others? What would be your recommendation to her to support other women, or to be that ideal role model that other women want to see?
I would say start with getting to know who you really are. You know, knowing what your strengths are, knowing what your weaknesses are, spending time with yourself. I would say learn who you are, spending time with yourself, and ultimately that's going to build and feed your mindset, right? Like reading books, going to conferences, you know, feeding the mindset, feeding it good content, because that ultimately will raise your confidence. If I could have raised my confidence in my 20s sooner, I probably would have collaborated with more girls in my 20s.
Yeah.
And I think that once you gain, you know, as a 20-year-old, I think once you gain more of your confidence now, you're able to then attract a higher vibrational woman into your life too. And then your mindset really is just the lens that we see, right? Yeah. So if you shift your mindset, everybody looks different.
Yeah.
You know, in my mindset in my 20s, I was insecure. So I was looking through a lens of insecurity. So everybody looked like competition. Yeah. But if working on yourself, I would say as a 20-year-old, work on yourself so that your lens will change. And if you notice that you're feeling this, because it's an energy you feel, jealousy, envy, competition. If that feeling comes up, you have to kind of ask yourself, what is it in me that makes me feel insecure about this person?
Yeah, so good, and absolutely that self-awareness to develop curiosity around her feelings. She can take responsibility in managing her emotions. That's
Yes.
maturity comes in. And now she's like, well, there will never be a Mrs. Gia Fay. There will never be
exactly
you. So shine your light, boo. Be the best version of yourself. Because when you do that for yourself, you raise other people in the process, which is
and another important thing which people need to understand too is when you learn to be yourself and you're authentic to yourself, right? You know who you are, you're confident, sharing like you said, there's not going to be another Gia Fay. And so I went out to the world like, this is me. I'm a trainer, but I have some weight issues. I struggle with eating sometimes. I put myself out there. And the thing is that that's what helped me get to 3 million plus followers. Nice. Versus if you're insecure, you're going to look to somebody, try to be like that person, and you're not going to be successful with your online business or social media. Like it just doesn't work when you try to copy someone else, because now you're trying to be a copycat of Gia Fay instead of being the authentic, whoever it is, So I think that it also helps you raise the vibration of other women, but it also helps you grow a tribe and a community of real people like yourself that are being authentic, that are putting their struggles out there. And I think that that's powerful.
I love it. I love it, Gia. So it's that raw authenticity that this world needs, to share our stories, our struggles, our challenges, how we overcome them, so other people can do the same and connect with us in a relatable way. So I know earlier you spoke about habits. It's one of the things I am big on. I love self-discipline. Having been in the Marine Corps for 20 years, prior Marine Corps drill instructor, I love self-discipline.
Yeah.
I call the right habits, I call them high caliber habits. So what high caliber habits, Gia, have you developed, right, that has specifically helped you with mental health? And, mental health now because of COVID, and people are like, I hear it, I'm like, oh, inflation, like external factors we can't control. The only person we can control is ourselves.
Yes.
So what high caliber habit enables you to enhance and nourish your mental health?
So I'll start with my morning habits. I think morning habits are the most crucial for your day. And it's funny because when I interview high caliber women, a lot of times I'm like, what's your morning habits? I want to know what you do in the morning, because it shifted my mental health with this lawsuit. I was stressed out. I had gained weight because of my cortisol levels, and I started seeing a therapist. That was ultimately one habit that worked for me because I needed somebody to help me bounce ideas off of, help me really cognitively reframe things, because our brain is a storyteller. Yeah. And it starts to create these really scary stories that are sometimes never even going to happen. So one habit I will say is therapy, but my morning habits drastically changed thanks to my therapist. She helped me kind of hold myself accountable. She was kind of like a coach for me, right? She would make sure that in the mornings, first of all, I stopped sleeping with my phone next to me. So I didn't touch my phone until after an hour, sometimes even an hour and a half after I woke up. I would wake up, I say about 3 to 5 things that I'm confident for. Even before I put my feet on the ground, my habit is like, thank you. Let's make it a great day. I'm ready to receive all the goodness that you have for me, universe. So that ultimately is my first habit, what I'm thankful for the second that I wake up. The next habit is I drink tea outside on my patio. I have an ocean view. There's lots of nature around me. So I sit there and I continue to just think about, what goals I want to achieve, drinking something that tastes good. I basically nurture my feminine energy, which is like looking at something beautiful. My skin feels beautiful, tasting something beautiful, feeling beautiful. Like that feminine energy, feeding it every day is something that I built a habit towards. So drinking that tea, those are like my two, gratitude, and then thinking about kind of what I want to do, seeing how perfect the universe is, building that faith, like those habit things with like my tea. And then doing some kind of exercise. So even if it's like 10 minutes of spin, I'll do 10 minutes of spin, and then it's a healthy breakfast. So I think like those habits in the morning have ultimately, that changed my stress levels day and night when I was going through the lawsuit. And even towards the end, as I was like, it was so built in me that it was working, because I was like feeling just like, it's okay. Like, just sit here and it's all going to work out. You did what you had to. You had the attorney do what he had to. Like, you already did everything. And then when I got the message that the court dismissed it, I just started crying. I was just like, oh my God, like all the things I thought about, like our thoughts are really magnets to the reality, the world outside of us. Like, it is like so true. If you think something bad's going to happen, something bad's going to happen. So going back to the habit of positive thinking, and not just like toxic positive thinking, like, oh, everything's going to be fine, and then you do nothing. Like, you obviously want to have action, but I think it's just really the habit of trusting God, of trusting the higher power. If God's not something that you're connecting to, there is a higher power. Like, look outside. Like, there's no way that something is not powerfully maneuvering everything and so perfect. And so those morning habits, I think day and night changed my stress levels, and I was able to overcome that. And I still do it now. So those are still habits, that I do now. And meditation, that, the outside tea drinking and looking at nature and tasting and smelling something delicious, like those are my it's grounded meditation for me. So I ground myself to like, look at the trees. Oh, do you hear that sound? Oh, that's a bird. Like, it's that grounding meditation. There's different types of meditations.
Absolutely.
That's the one that I have liked the most, being very heightened, like my senses. Like, what am I listening to? What am I smelling? What am I seeing? What am I touching? All of that grounds me. And then I'm able to open up my emails and be like, okay, I'm here. Let's do this. And like, it's basically like lifting weights for my brain, and then going into my emails and starting out my day, and whatever the business is bringing to me that day, I'm able to like take it on with power.
I love it. I love how you said our thoughts are a magnet,
Yes.
which is primarily the reason why you should incorporate these morning rituals, these daily habits that enable you, like you said, to ground yourself, that enable you to be present, because that's what you're doing. You're being present.
Yes.
And absorbing whatever life is giving you at the moment, whether it's a beautiful bird chirping, you watching the sunrise.
Yeah.
Or, you watching your fiance pass by with his beautiful tush, or what have you, whatever.
Yes. Yeah.
Playful and present in the moment.
Yeah.
And I love how you incorporated, the daily rituals, and also how you said that a woman, in order to develop confidence, is doing forced acts of courage.
Yes.
Right? Because the confidence, going back to that confidence question, the confidence doesn't just show up one day. I'm confident as hell today.
No.
But an hour.
No,
you got to kind
of. Yeah, or else it'd be all these confident women. And the thing is that as you start to develop that confidence, all your habits start to change too. And so even when I start to work with my clients, personal coaching, I'm teaching them those little habits. Yes. It's those little things that you do every day that ultimately you see the big picture. The problem with our society is that we want those quick fixes. We want the quick weight loss. We want the quick diet. We want the crash diet. And the thing is that habits are not developed in a quick crash diet.
Oh, no.
And a habit is not a habit until you're doing it months at a time, right? An action is you do it one time. A couple times you do it, it's a behavior. Then if you're doing it a month, 2 months, now it's habit. So like even when I train my clients, like you're not going to train them unless you're going to be with them 4 months. Me, typically the same, 3 to 6 months. I take a full payment up front, 3 months minimum, because if you don't give me 3 months, I can't really give you real results.
Absolutely.
And so I'm not going to waste your money. I'm not going to waste your time. And nor am I going to waste my time if we're not going to get real results. And so when I put my clients on, meal plans and stuff, they're like, you need me to eat all this food? I'm like, yes, you need to eat about 16 to 1800 calories. Yes. But people want that crash diet. And that's when you end up losing your booty. Because when you're not eating enough calories, your body goes into immediate source of energy, which is in your biggest muscle, which is your booty. So that's why a lot of those crash diets too, you're going to lose your booty. You're going to lose the best part of your body, which is the biggest part of the muscle, Yeah. So it's important for women to understand that those habits, it takes time, and it's not what some people want to hear, but I'm always truthful with them. It's just like, this is what it is.
Yes.
If it was easy, everybody would do it. There's always liposuction, but even liposuction, I've had clients that go get liposuction, but before they do liposuction, the doctors also tell them you need 6 months of developing good habits, because liposuction doesn't just fix it. It comes back. People just think, oh, I'm going to go get liposuction. No, it comes back. If you're not working out, if you're not eating healthy, you basically wasted thousands of dollars for nothing.
Jeez.
So there is no quick fix. There are some shortcuts, but not really, because you still have to put the work in, period. And I think the most successful women, they know that.
Yes, thankfully, and you're right. A habit is just that. It's little by little by little by little goes a long way.
Yes.
And it's that ability to take that small action today, tomorrow, for the next 30 days, 40, 45, that you're going to see that results that you want to see. So I love the information, the inspiration you have given us, Gia. It is, I am just blown away always when I see you, and I'm just, again.
You too, girl. It's just a mirror right here. I just see a mirror.
Just so you know, there will be another episode, because I've been so, again, like I'm honored with the women that come into my life, because it is about transparency. It is about, having a big heart, which you have. It's about empathy, compassion. Y tú tienes un corazón bien grandote con un cuerpazo, mujer. So I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, as the viewers that they're watching. Unfortunately, we do have to
right? Say goodbye for now.
Bye, but there will be more. Just FYI, there will be more. How can our viewers get a hold of you, Gia? How can they connect with you? Because you are the Curvy-licious resident expert. Qué cuerpazo, mujer. I love watching your stories, watching your posts, because they're just,
thank you.
They're beautiful. You exude all of that and then some. How can the viewers connect with you?
I mean, to get to know me, for sure, all social media, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, is at Body by Gia. The more intimate connection, obviously, to really get to know more of the mindset and the habits, bodybygia.com. If you subscribe, I send emails there kind of inspiration, and my ebook that I'm so excited to share now with women. It basically talks about my lifestyle habits, my mindset habits, my fitness habits, which is ultimately what led to having mi cuerpazo, my relationship now, my happily relationship, and my career that I've been able to successfully carry on now for 10 years. So I'm hoping that it's able to give women the tools, more tools, because we can use so many tools in our toolbox. You never know which tool you can pull out for when. So I'm hoping that will help women. So they can find me, basically Body by Gia. It's pretty easy to remember.com, social media. And that's probably the best way to kind of get to know more of me and kind of what, Body by Gia is the mission for, which is to continue to help women redefine who they are and not let those, the negative self-talk be the dictator of their life, and hopefully be able to transform that into positive self-talk and self-love, and that to empower everything in our life, because women, we really can have it all. We're that powerful.
Absolutely.
Somos tan poderosas, tan poderosas. And we can't be afraid of that power. We have to own it and step into it, because it's scary sometimes. It can be scary, but there's that forced act of courage where it's like you step into it and you never know what can happen. You never know.
What a goddess. Oh my goodness. What a treat it was having you. Te quiero mucho. Thank you for being a trailblazer, for having those beautiful curves and showing other women what's possible. It's through courageous example that we not only grow but inspire ourselves and our sphere of influence, which is truly a remarkable, courageous thing to do. So te quiero mucho. There will be more episodes that are forthcoming. And for our viewers, thank you for watching. There you have it. Miss Gia Fay. Connect with her, Body by Gia, and we'll see you next time. Have a good day.
Glutathione is a big word. It's the body's own master antioxidant. It's a scavenger for free radicals, bacteria, and viruses. There are no products in the market with the ingredient NASET. NASET increases the production of glutathione that's in our body already to strengthen and enhance our immune system, elevate sense of well-being, support muscle strength and endurance, cognitive function, and liver support. It helps with increased energy and blood sugar regulation. Get your bottle of GSH Plus from www.salvationnutra.com.